Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and today I'm going to talk about nothing creates reality that has already been created. Very simple, very distinct idea, but here's the thing. Apples, oranges, bees, trees, the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, the circumstances, the bills, the unpaid rent, the rent collectors, the house you desire, your specific person, the money you want, the car you want, the job you want, the country you want to live in, and the country itself, the world. Every single thing. All of those things suddenly just appeared within your awareness as I said them. Why? Because you are greater than all of them. You are the creator of it. You are literally the creator of it. No matter how many apples I ask you to imagine, you can imagine an infinite number of apples and an infinite number of appearances. And you did not go and individually create every little bit of them. They're not even familiar to you. You've never seen these apples before in your life, right? But you are the creator of them, the appearances of them. You are literally the creator. And here's the thing. Everything that you are observing in your 3D world doesn't create anything. No matter how distinct it looks as if it did, it didn't create anything. You can see an artist creating a canvas, a painting, and you can know within your awareness you are the creator of that person, the creator of whatever they created. You just was unaware of it until you became aware of it, because you are the creator. But here's the thing, from their point of view, they are also the creator within, the same creator that you are inside of your physical self that you are experiencing, but really all of 3D reality is appearing within. You are that. You are the creator. No amount of apples can create any amount of oranges. It is as simple as that, right? As silly as that in fact. Nothing creates anything that has been created. Nothing creates anything that has been created, absolutely and utterly. So, you probably heard it over and over again. Your circumstances, your conditions, your appearances, they don't actually matter. And here's the common question. Well, how the hell do you stay in your chosen identity when there's no job, when there's no savings, when there's the bills and there's rent to be paid and there's fear and there's doubt coming up? How do you do that then? But how do you know those things? How do you know there's no job? How do you know there's no savings? How do you know there's no bill? How do you know there's no whatever? You know them. You know those things. You say, yeah, but they keep on being there for me to know it. Okay, if they weren't there, would you stop knowing it then? So, no, I remember it. Exactly. So remember your dream life and know that you are choosing to remember that. Those things don't stop you from knowing anything else. Just like those things don't create anything else. No, but the money created the bill. No, it's separate experiences of the same identity of I am not. It is separate experiences of the same identity of I am knowing this and I am knowing that and I am knowing that other thing. It is your knowing of it that is keeping it there. Your acceptance that this is what I'm now choosing to know and I'm struggling to know something else is keeping it there, because what you are really saying is I am not knowing my desired end because there's too many things in my knowing for me to just simply know I have made a choice of my desired end. You see, we end up struggling and trying to hold on to our chosen identities while staring at the conditions in front of them as if those conditions actually matter. They don't. Because they don't create anything. It's like an apple can't create an orange. Nothing creates anything. It's only our identification with those things. Then we start to create doubt. We start to create fear by acknowledging and experiencing it and choosing to continuously see it like that. And we start mixing it together. We try to hold on to our chosen identity while staring at the conditions in front of us. The struggle shows up as I am efforting to stay in my knowing. I am struggling to stay focused on my desired end. You don't have to sit there and focus on your desired end for it to come in. Just like you are not sitting there and focusing on the bill to come to you. You didn't do that. So you don't have to do that with everything else. You can use everything in your experiencing of reality to show you how reality actually works. You didn't focus on the bill that hard, or the lack of money that hard, for it to come into your experiencing as reality, did you? No. But now because they are there, we start to think that I need to focus harder for these things to go away and that other thing to come in. That's where your effort is. You're trying to make these go away and this come in. No. Effortlessness is simply making a choice of who you are now from seeing who you truly are. So make that first choice in seeing who you truly are, and then imagine what you would like as your preference. And say, that is who I am. That is my choice. That is who I say I am. That is it. That's final. That's the only fact of my reality is I am who I say I am. This other stuff can just be there. I've got nothing to do with it. If I have $1 for a $1 bill, pay the $1. You don't have to struggle against it. You don't have to you don't have to identify with anything that you feel because of it. You aren't a failure whatsoever. You are just having a physical experience of $1 being paid for your $1 bill. I'm making a point here, right? I'm not saying you have a literal $1 bill, although. So here's the truth. The circumstances don't stop you from knowing, because you know when there's no job. You know there's no savings. You know when the bills are due. You aren't focusing and efforting to know those things into reality. You also know while those things are there, you know what your desired end is, you know what your choice is. That's it. And you know that's your choice, and then you just go about experiencing your choice, the choice that you are consciously willing to return to, have the intention of returning to, because it's your preference, not because you are trying to overcome what's happening. You don't overcome what's happening. You didn't bring what's happening to you. You have no way physically of removing what is happening to you either. You didn't bring what's happening to you. You have no way physically of removing what you are experiencing either, because the character who is experiencing it and the character who is experiencing your desired end are two different characters. You are the creator of both of those characters. Imagine the character you would like to be and assume that regardless of what's going on now, that's what's unfolding, that character. That character is what's unfolding, ever changing. Reality is rearranging itself for your experiencing of that character because you have decided as awareness that you are experiencing that character. You've made a choice. Your chosen identity is exactly how it works exactly that way. It's not about trying or efforting to hold on to that identity. It's about knowing that you have made a choice now. You don't repeat your name all day long, but if I asked you at any given point what your name is, short of a hiccup here and there, you would probably tell me what your name was very quickly and effortlessly without thinking too hard, right? So, in the same sense, let the no job be there, let the used up savings be there, let the unpaid bills be there, and let the knowing that if I asked you what your chosen identity was, you would know what it was. You know it. You know what your chosen identity is, right? You know what your chosen life choices. You know the thing that you are already going to return to. You already know it. You're knowing on it, you're knowing of it, your choice of it means it's already done. What you are trying to do is overcome the circumstances. Stop trying to overcome the circumstances. They are just stories appearing within your 3D. They don't have anything to do with you. And like apples and oranges, they can't create anything. They can't. They don't have the power to create anything. The creator has not given the creation's power to create. That remains with the creator. But all of your creations are actually God, and that's why they can move back and forth, because they are subject to your will, its own will. They move on their own will because they are God, but that will is defined by you because you are God as the creator experiencing yourself. You are the one that's in control. So the difference is that your desired chosen identity is the knowing of something unseen. Where was it before you imagined it? No idea. The unseen. You brought it into the scene by knowing it. You know it now, so it's seen. We determine whether something is real because we can see it physically. Your physical reality is not the only thing that is real. In fact, it is less real than imagined reality, because your physical reality is a effect of all of your assumptions and affirmations and your beingness all at once. It's not just a distinct story. When you're imagining, you are imagining that distinct story. So it is the actual imagined experience of reality. Because no matter what you are imagining and experiencing, you have the ability to experience things you don't like within that anyway. Right? Just because you have these bills and things like that never doesn't mean you don't laugh. Doesn't mean you don't smile at something. Doesn't mean you don't have a moment of joy. Why? Because you are a superimposed, multi-dimensional, infinite being that has all of that stuff within you. So even though you have those bills that you need to pay, you can still smile. So smile anyway, because it is your preference. I don't mean smile in the face of things that you don't like, and don't try to smile when you are feeling upset. Feel upset. But no, the only reality is what you have imagined yourself to be, what you are imagining yourself to be, what you are choosing as awareness, your choice of reality. That is your only reality. And what you are feeling, experiencing, and doing and whatever does not matter, because it doesn't create. You've created it already. This is the pearl of great price. When you shift into knowing you are awareness itself, everything changes, because awareness does not need to fix circumstances. It created them. Your awareness doesn't need to remove fear. It created the experience of fear. Your awareness doesn't need to get rid of stress. It created the idea of stress. It just knows that it brought those things to you, and it has the same mechanism to send them on their merry way back within you, back to the unseen, because they're only experiences. Those characters live infinitely as those experiences, in those experiences. And you can do this now. You can imagine in 5 years' time, whatever, just as an experiment. 5 years' time, 2030. Yes, 2030, September 9th, you have another bill. You can see it. You can see it written down. September 9th, 2025, or however you guys write it, 2025/09/09 or 09/09/2025, whatever. Your name, a bill, it's real. You know that's real. And now you're suddenly terrified. Oh my God, this is another bill that I'm having 5 years later. But why? Because it's all now. Because it's all created. Because you are the creator of it. And that bill doesn't create anything. Right? You don't have to fear your own imagination experiencing anymore. Right? You only have to know that it's all done. Just like your desired end. And as this awareness, you say, my desired end is that. My chosen reality is that. I am that. That's all. The stuff is just stuff. Even that stuff is just stuff, but it's my preferred stuff. Right? The current circumstances are simply part of the unfolding script in the 3D world. If there is a bill, pay it. If there is no job, acknowledge it. If you don't have to identify with any of it. None of it defines you, because you are awareness and they all exist within you. Right? You are awareness, and you've already chosen your desired reality. No part of the 3D world is greater than you. You are awareness, right? You know you've chosen as awareness. You know that's enough. You know that you are God. You know that's enough. You know you are the creator, and now you know that is enough. And as awareness, what you have chosen is what you are knowing yourself to be right now, and that is actually enough, because it must be. That which you have prayed for, as in that which you have imagined, imagine that you have received it. Accept that you have received it, because you did receive it. You received it from the unseen. You called it forth and received the experiencing of it right then and there. Assume because you have experienced it, it is unfolding regardless of any kind of time or appearances of reality that present themselves. They do nothing. An apple can't create an orange. The circumstances can't create your dream life. An apple can't prevent an orange, and the circumstances can't prevent your dream life. You are awareness, you are enough, and you are perfect. I am your host, Reese. This is Read Your Reality with Reese. Thank you all for being here. Much love. Thank you for the emails as well. People who reached out on these specific ideas. Thank you for the liking, subscribing, following, choosing to hang out with me. Thank you for the questions as well, because they do open up more avenues of knowing for all of us, including myself. TikTok page available if you want to check out things that are there. There is a Facebook group available where you can drop questions like this and ask them in the community. Or if you do want a personalized approach to this, my email is in the description box below where you can reach out. That being said, much love, much light, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.